Welcome to SBCC TV. In this tutorial, I'm going to discuss why I use Blogger. Now, obviously there are a lot of blogging sites out there, so I'm not saying Blogger is the only or necessarily the best blogging site, but I am going to discuss with you why it might be a good idea. If you want to set up a blog or you want to post news information, Blogger may be a great site for you. So the Blogger choice. For one thing, you already actually have access to Blogger right now. Because SBCC has a Google domain, you have this tool. I will in a later video show you how to actually access this and how to start blogging and create pages and posts. But for right now, it makes sense just to know that you have this account. You just haven't used it, or perhaps you haven't used it. Also, of course, Blogger is free. And then I'm going to also show some features of Blogger that I think make this a good tool. Especially as an educator, it makes it a good tool for you to use. So let's take a look at Blogger. Again, I'm not yet showing you how to log into Blogger. I'm just showing you kind of behind the scenes. And we're going to look at this area up here. If I wanted to create a new blog, I could create a new blog. And then over here we've got the different blogs that I have the rights, perhaps as an administrator or as an author, to add posts to if I want to. We've got a little link here where I can start creating or adding a post. And then I also have some tools in this drop down that I can get to different information. So let's just look at the settings on this blog. So this is my SBCC baseball. And I'm just going to click the down arrow and I'm going to click settings. So this kind of gives me a background about what's going on in this blog. So you can see down here in this area, blog authors. Right now it's myself, Jen R, and Jennifer Hawk. And then it shows you what is the blog address. It's sbccbaseball.blogspot.com. And up here I have, obviously, I can edit the title, edit the description, and I have access to kind of behind the scenes. So that's what this looks like. If I wanted to add an author, I can add an author, and initially that person has to accept, and then I could even make that person an admin. So right now you can see I'm an admin, Jen Hawk is an admin, and I could change that so that she is just an author, which means she has fewer permissions, can't do quite as much and see quite as much. So a good feature is you can add authors, you can make them administrators or just an author. Another great feature is you have access to different templates, and I'll kind of look at these choices. We're not going to look at too many of them, but you can see that a template has already been customized for SBCC baseball, so it's using the school colors and background so that it looks pretty cool. And I really like this feature of Blogger, and that is that it actually is really easy to create a mobile version of your blog so that smartphones can have access or tablets can have access to the content in a more, smaller view frame, so that it looks good on a mobile device. So I think that's pretty cool. If I go ahead and go back to my blogs and I want to maybe view this blog, another great benefit is that readers can subscribe to your blog. So if I click on subscription, shows you a bunch of information. If I had a reader, I could then subscribe to this. So in this case, we actually had another site that wanted our baseball stories, and they asked if we had an RSS feed. And so we can now provide that other website with that information so that they can subscribe and post from our feed. So I've come back to this page. And I'm going to go back into settings, navigate a little bit here with you, and I'm going to just take a look at settings. So over here we've got different settings, overview, posts. This only has one post in it. I can edit that post. But I wanted to maybe just look at a few specific features that I think are pretty cool. So this has stats. It's got stats over posts, overview of stats, so you can see how many page views, who's come to this website, which is not a lot yet because this isn't really released or live for anyone to really get to. You can also click and look at layout, so you can see the layout that's been applied to this. And then the last thing I'm going to show you as far as features, I'm going to click on settings, I'm going to click on other, and then I can actually import and export from or to this blog depending on if I'm importing or exporting. If I export, I can keep a copy of my blog so that I have a backup, or I can export it, then delete it, and then import it into another blog site if I choose to. So again, I'm not going over every single detail and every single feature, but I did want to give you some features that I think are pretty cool from Blogger.